Hey, YouTube, what's going on again? It's your boy, Phil. It's Philly on the track one more time. Alright, what we gonna do today is called the revision to the meaning of life. So let me get ready for smoke. From the belly of the beast. Alright, I'm gonna start off with the dream I had the last time, and I'm gonna try to do it in due order. So, I fell asleep, I think it was a day or two after Thanksgiving. So it was like a day or two after Thanksgiving itself. And when I came to the dream, the first thing I seen was a white background, white as a cloud. Like I said in the last one, by Philip Smith, Meaning of Life. You can check out Philip Smith, Meaning of Life on YouTube to find the other ones I've done. But this one's Phil Roy Smith, the revision to the meaning of life. So what happened was I fell asleep a day or so before Thanksgiving. Give me a second. It was a day or so before Thanksgiving. Sorry, that was kind of rude by people. No, I fell asleep it was like a day or two before Thanksgiving, something like that. And that wasn't what I went before, it was after. So, a day or two after Thanksgiving, I fell asleep, and I could have died in this sleep state because I woke up crying. I don't know what happened. I could have been dead and not even known it. But the thing is I seen the first part of the dream. It was like a white background, as white as a cloud, and on it appeared the meaning of life in Old English letters. I read it, and I thought to myself, like, whoa, this is the meaning of life. And it wasn't like an answer. It wasn't like a question. It was a statement. And it was like, it wasn't even a statement. It was like a simile or a metaphor. Like a simile or a metaphor. Like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink it. And then you start to think, and you're like, wow, I understand it. And when you understand it, you get this click in your head, like it passes, like when you remember something, you don't even feel it. You're just like, oh, I remember. And you say what you remember. But imagine that remembrance, that feeling lasting over continual time, over continual seconds. It's unlocking a portion of your brain that lies dormant. So Alzheimer's people, you can read them, they can have Alzheimer's up here, fucking their brain up. You can read the meaning of life, unlocks the back portion, the left portion, the right portion, unlocks different portions of the brain and to thrive while the other ones die off and you can live. But you have to be pure of heart, because once you understand the meaning of life, the first thing you ask yourself is, wow, why have I ever been afraid to die? And then your fear of death is stripped. It's just gone. And and then after you understand that, after that happens, you're like, you get this continual sense, not rapid, a continual understanding is what I call it. Not rapid sense, not when you get this through your brain and rapid sense. I'm talking continual understanding, like the nanosecond you get when you remember, but it's like remembering over continual time. It's weird, I don't know how to explain it. And then I went to this different part of the dream, and this ain't in order, but I'm going to try to state it in order. I seen a bird. I was laying in bed with my friend Gary. We're actually like a few years apart from each other. And we was laying in bed in my mom's house, full-grown adults like we used to do when we were kids. And his name's Gary Gene Sheriff. And I tried to show it, and I seen this bird floating, a white bird just floating above the bed on this side, and we're right here. I'm like, hey Gary, dude, look at that. I'm like, look at that. He looked, but he couldn't see nothing. He didn't see it. So when I found, and it was encased with a circle, and in the middle was the bird, just directly in the middle. And it shines so beautiful, like fluorescent light hitting the most fluorescent gold, just shining, but you can still see the image of the bird completely, just, you can see it clearly. And when I told him, like, you see that? He said, no, I don't see that. It flew into my heart. And so after that happened, I think I went to a different part of the dream, where I seen a geometrical sign. like this, and then it came up like that. It was in the sign of a Freemason sign. And in it, on it was, on the left side, a king in a crown of crosses. He was wearing a crown of crosses. He had a frown just like this one. Whoa, that's them coming out of me. On the other side was this right here. The smile. Oh my fucking God, no way. That's them coming out of me again. So after that, I went to a different part of the dream. And I was in this field. And me and my friend Gary were going up into the sky. And I said, no, Gary, let's come back down for a little bit, dude. We might go into outer space and we won't be able to breathe. And we'll just die. So we came back down to Earth. And while I don't know where we were both running at that point. Both of us were running, but I was still floating in the air as I was jumping. Like that. And he hit on top of a roof of a church, and I got shot right behind the church in like a parking lot, or a little off-key little field. I don't know. They probably know where it's at now, but I don't even give a fuck. If I stay away from a few certain people, I'm fine. But the thing is, he shot me right dead in the forehead. And when I was dead on the ground, I was still open-eared. I heard everything. It was like, he said, did you get the rest? I had no brain activity, but I could still hear out throughout my ears, within my own ears. He said, did you get the rest? And I went to a different part of the dream. I was in the very back of a pew, and a funeral home in these seats. And there wasn't a pew, it was seats. And so it had to be a funeral home. And I looked at the front and I see my mother and my sister Elena, Darlene K. Smith and Elena Jean Smith. And I walked up and I was like, whoa, what's going on? So I got up. I didn't think that, but I got up. I just wondering what was. I just got up. I walked up to the casket, looked down, and it was myself. It was me. I was like 300 and something pounds. And I was wearing this shirt that I try to get rid of every day to just bring it back into the fucking house. But the thing is I try to tell him, I'm like, look, I'm okay, I'm right here. But he came out, no, he's all right, he'll be okay. And my mom said, no, Danny, it's not okay. And she started bawling, crying. And I switched, went to a different part of the dream. And in this part of the dream, I remember I seen the whole government lined up, pew, 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 pew. Or 3 pews maybe, 3 tiers. Can't remember how many tiers, but stretched all the way from left to right. In the middle was the stage. On the stage was Joseph Lieberman. His hair was so red it was fluorescent orange. Who walked up after that? Well, fucking Barack Obama walked up. He shook my hand. He said, you are the devil's son. And I said, no, 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 I believe in Jesus. I believe in Jesus. And then I started going crazy. Well, it switched to a different part of the dream after that. But let me tell you, if that was me in that part of the dream, I wouldn't have went to my own funeral. I think I was in spirit in the body of the false prophet. And his name is David Little, David Cooper, Luke David Allen Cooper. Wow, or something like that. I can't believe something like that. But and then Luke David Allen William or something like that. Luke Little, I think it's his name, or Luke William, I can't remember. But it just took out of my head. But it's one of them names. Is he's Little or William? One of the two. I think he's the Little, I'm not sure. But or William, I can't remember. It just flooded out of my brain with that thought. But then I went to hell. And in hell, it's not nice. And it's not. Because I remember you had no eyes, but it was black. You could not see. You had no body. You had no physical body. You didn't have hands. You didn't have a face. You don't have you don't have nothing of the body. You're just in black with nothing but your conscious thought. That's why the body is a temple for your conscious thought. Wow, no, and now here they come again. But the thing is that I had no hands, therefore I could not touch. I had no eyes, therefore I could not see, even though I knew it was black. I had no nose, therefore I could not smell. I had no senses of the body because I had no physical form. Like in the Egyptian book of Thoth, they talk about the form in the hall of hell. Wow, no, that's another one they can't believe. But the thing is that I had no physical form, so I was stuck in black with nothing but my thought, just thinking. And the first thing I said is, I just want to be back with my family. And I woke up crying in my sleep. And that's how that happened. I might have missed a few things, but that's the gist of it. But the thing is, and you want to know the more of it, look up Philip Smith, Meaning of Life. If I missed anything here, you'll find it on that. But then I got a few things from Revelations I want to read you. This might be why I died from Revelations, but I don't give a fuck. I'm tired of living. There are some things in life far worse than death. So I'm just going to read you this. Okay. This is 9/11 in Revelations, the great prostitute and the fall of Babylon. It's going to come. The woman sitting on the scarlet beast, the woman who wore scarlet clothing, she held a goblet full of obscenities of the impurities of her land. The goblet of gold, she said a golden goblet in her hand. That fire is made from gold-plated gold. That's what it's made from. It's actually made from gold. And the city is fallen. The great city is fallen, home for demons, foul spirits, foul vultures, every hideout in the world, for their hideouts of the world. Do not take part in her sin, or you will be punished with her. And she's piled out of heaven. God remembers that she's piled out of heaven. Double her penalty, and for her terror of others. She glorified herself with luxury. She boasted in her heart, I am no helpless widow. Plague will overtake her in a single day. Death, mourning, and famine, completely consumed by fire. The plague is actually fire. The Lord God, who judges her, is mighty. They will weep. Merchants will weep. People who send goods across the seas. Merchants will weep, for there is no one left to buy her goods. She bought great quantities of gold, silver, jewels, pearls, fine linen, purple. Purple, you had to be real high up to have that back in the day. Luxury. You had to be real top official to have purple. And they bought scarlet cloth. They had iron, frankincense, white olives, and chariots and bodies, that is, the human slaves. If we're not human slaves, why are we work for the almighty dollar? Okay, let me tell you this. Slaves, black slaves, there are white slaves today. Did you only think the black slaves did was work for a room and board and motherfucking food to eat on their plate? That's why they did the cotton fields and everything else. They had a place to stay and food to eat. They were scraps and a little shack. But what are we working for now? The almighty dollar. The dollar pays for our rent, pays for our food, just like the slaves pay for their shit. So, fuck that. It was good. That's my own spit. I don't give a fuck, because I'm not. Wow. So go ahead and say wow, whoever that was. But, they're human slaves, and here's where it gets tricky. Merchants who became wealthy by selling her great things at a distance, terrified by her great torment. Merchants, captains and merchants, passengers and sailors, crews will stand at a distance. How terrible for the great city. Ship owners became wealthy by transporting her great wealth on the seas In a single moment, it is all gone. Now I translated this, I don't know if it's right, but no craftsmen, no trades. No craftsmen, no trades. So no workers, no trade. And trade is import-export. Import-export means trade, import-export, trade, World Trade Towers, no craftsmen, no workers. There's no, and your streets flowed the blood of God's holy people, the blood and the people slaughtered all over the world that day. Merchants were the greatest in the world. The sea by the countries with your sorcery. The sea by that country with her sorceries. And that's where I want to take you with that book. That came out of this book, the Holy Bible. But the thing is, Islam and Mormonism, they have to really come up and treat the woman respectful, because they both mistreat the woman. The thing is Muslims, how can a woman love a man and the man has the right to leave the woman? She has to sit around for the rest of her life and wait around for a man who may never come back. He may never come back, and she can't love another, but this man gets to go love as many women as he likes. That's abusatory, or whatever that word is, to the Church of Islam. Wow. There they said that one too. And that's what it is. And how come the woman can't re-love when the man leaves her? And the Mormons, you're just as fucked up. I went to a Mormon church one day and visited. I read in the Bible the night before, we all can wear gold. So the next day I went to the church and a bunch of men had to take me. And then finally I got to sit by the girl I liked during service. Not service, but during Bible study. And they laughed at me for writing notes in my Bible. But the thing is, we went. Then we all had to sit apart from each other in service. And then we went out to the hallways and I was talking to her. Remember, I said we all can wear gold. I read that in our Bible. And then all of a sudden, this guy in purple garment walked in. And he said, and he was draped in gold. Every little girl in the whole place, even the one I liked, ran to him. Like he was Justin Timberlake and he was some fat, old, gritty looking mother effer. He curses. That's what it means. And he was some fat, old, gritty looking mother effer. And I didn't understand, but I thought in my head, like, what's stopping me from doing what you're doing? We all can wear gold. I can do what you're doing, and I can obstruct the church and get any woman I like. I can do what you're doing. I can get a high spot up there, just work my way up and have any woman I like, and just trick and use a charge for fowlery. But I'm not going to do that. So, but that's how they mistreat the woman. How can a woman really love one man when he has 4 or 5 wives? So how is one woman supposed to love one man when they have many women to love? And that leaves the other women out, and they never have the real love of the one man. So, and then, what's some other ideas I have? Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. And then I went in that dream. I went to a different part of the dream. It was a mixed dream. Because in this part of the dream, this is why they was going to send me to hell. And this is why I seen a meaning of life that got me out of hell at the very end of it. But they sent me to this part of the dream. This was a mixed dream right here. I seen an asteroid or a comet or asteroid or something floating in the heavens. It was in space. And I didn't mess with it. I could have, because I could control my dreams, but I didn't mess with it. It was like a 360 game, like an Xbox 360 game, but I didn't mess with it. So I left it alone. And so the next part of the dream, and then it went back to the people studying me, and they were clapping. They was excited. Then I went back to another part of the dream, and when I walked in the place, every man in the room hated me. And then when I went to a different part of that same dream, I seen a war game. It was like regular Nintendo. It was war. It was like World War III to me. It was a Contra game. like Contra, but it was like World War III. So I didn't mess with it either. And then when I came back to the room, they was clapping for me again. So I went to, and then I cut to the third part of that dream, and it felt like I was in actual heaven. This world was so beautiful. It was untouched. It was clean. It was just so beautiful, raw. It was so raw. It was so beautiful. There was nothing wrong with it. And when I got there, I looked to the right. I think I looked to the right first and seen the sheep. And I would look to the left, I think, and I seen the Messiah. He looked down and he smiled at me. And you can ask yourself, how could that be? Well, really, what is the son of the Messiah? And so, the thing is, and this video won't be seen for probably another 3.5 years after my death. But the thing is, he looked down at me and smiled. I seen the sheep. He looked down at me and smiled. So I took off running straight ahead. I should have kept the sheep in herd, but I took off running straight ahead because I was finally free. And I had my best friend in the world. And it was Jesus Christ. Now I guess I was the shepherd to the sheep. Wow, no way. See that? That's them again. They moved through me. And so, why don't we create our own living worlds? Living worlds are that can inhabit life. And Mars is a living world. It used to be. It was destructed by man many years ago, and we flew to Earth. I might be wrong. We might not have flew to Earth. We might have been placed here from Mars. I'm not sure how it happened, but Mars was destructed by war. And that's why we call it associated with war in the night sky. But we were placed here. Because how do you have a baby from a single cell organism when it has to be birthed by life? You have to have sex and come out the vaginal area to have life on Earth. That's by the tree of life. We can decide when to bring life into the world by the tree of life. We can have a baby anytime we wish. We can say, okay, we'll have a baby, bring it into the world. That's the tree of life. We're allowed to have that. But the thing is it's God's right to take us out. That's why suicide is committed sin. Because you take the right away from God to bring you out on the set date you're supposed to go. You could say, well, it could be your set date. No, it's not. That's when you take the power into your own hands. And that's why it's a sin. But the thing is, living worlds, yeah. Living worlds would sustain life. We can make Mars, like hit it we could break apart a moon, hit it when it redirect that comet. We redirected an asteroid to land on a probe. So how can we can't hit like one of the moons, ice moons in our solar system, not totally tear it apart. If we tear it apart, gravity will mess up. But just take a chunk out of it, have that water asteroid, because there were actually moons covered in ice with water of its core, and we can hit that moon, that redirect it to Mars, and once it hits the atmosphere, it'll break up, turn to water, and it finally has water, and that's the first building block of life. And then when our technology finally advances, or we're probably there already, we can actually go to Mars and live if the world ever comes unsustainable. And I'm telling you, once the sun gets bigger, the habitable zone ain't gonna be Earth, it'll be Mars. So think about that for once. And we can control our dreams. Use your imagination to control your dreams. When you're a kid, you think about things that ain't real, and you see them, and you can play with them. So in your dreams, think about what you want to see and control it. That's how I do that too. And he's supposed to be pure. It's called cannabis, all forms of smoke. Then you have white medicine, all forms of powdered medicine, Kadabal. Everybody knows what wine is. Then you have Cabal, that's wood. Whoa, no way. So, I don't know where else I want to go with this today, but people are going to enjoy this on the internet when I'm dead. In like 3.5 years. hopefully. Because like I said, I don't want to live forever. I'm kind of sick of living anyway. I'm a soldier of God. And then you got to ask your question. Like, people say, Jesus, you don't believe, I believe in God, solely believe in God. I believe we all pray to the same God. We pray in Allah's name and hallowed be thy name. And we all believe in the same God as well. And the thing is where I was going with that. We all believe in the same God and we all pray to the same God. I believe that. They're taking me off track on my memory. Yeah, so we all pray. I'm a soldier by God. And what did Jesus believe in? Jesus didn't believe in Jesus. Jesus believed in God. That's who he believed in. Jesus did not believe in Jesus. Jesus believed in God. And God alone. Think Jesus went around believing in himself? No, he believed in God. And I believe in Islam, that almighty stone that fell from the heavens, which is placed in, is that an altar? Could it be an altar? Well, it might be not. And I'm thinking about it. You're born to live. You're born to die, but you have to die to live again. You're born to life to die, but you have to die to live life again, eternal life, or is that everlasting life? Whoa, no way. And Martin Luther King's dream. You have the branches of color, like white, black, white and black. Then you have the branches of hate outside of color, like crackers, niggers, hicks, niggas. And you have people of color, like black and white people. They're just people, and that's how that goes. But you have the branches of hate, and that's the niggas and niggers, and then you have the crackers, and you have the branches of hate, like the crackers and hicks. And you have the people of color, like black and white people, and they're just people. And people will never understand that, but who could get the dream across, a white man or a black man? I understand. So, I could go on for hours. I really could. I visited a Pentecostal church talking about everybody put $20 together and that extra $20 together in the plate so I can get a new transmission for my car. And I went to this church called The Bridge, and he's talking about let's make Jesus part of our financial future. Like, nigga, you went, sorry about my language, and I don't hate. I'm actually very comforting. I don't believe in hate. I actually just use slang. If you don't want white people to say it, you should leave it out of every rap song and make it non-existent. And people wouldn't say it at that point. But the thing is, he said, let's make Jesus part of our financial future. Like, dude, you're just in Alexandria, Kentucky, wanting to milk and dime everybody for every bit of money they have because you're in a rich part of the neighborhood. It's nothing about expanding the church. It's about the money itself. So, and even the Vatican has a secret bank for their funds. That's why they have their own banking system. And I believe that the castle of heaven, it was a castle of heaven. It was a castle that was called heaven. And the Lord to the castle of heaven was Jesus Christ and the knights that served. Whoa, no way, dude. That's right. And then you have Mother, the mother of the moon, the sun of the sky. You have God's children of earth. Wow, no way they got their meaning back. And it's God's green planet for that reason. So, I think I'll take it off on this part. So this is Philly signing off. Phil Roy Smith. And I'm a Roy, I'm a Smith, I'm a Phil. I spell it Phil, Phillip, in many different forms. So I'm about to sign off today, guys. I'll create a new video some other time. Be watching for me. See ya.